Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Sharon Bown, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Midshipman Georgia Goebel. 2026 marks 125 years of dedicated service by the Australian Army and its predecessors. Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Norman Ivor Hurd. We are honoured to acknowledge Assistant Chief of Air Staff Intelligence India, Air Vice Marshal Sanjeev Kumar Talian, accompanied by our Deputy Chief of Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Steve Pesci. This evening, we warmly welcome the delegation from the RSL and Services Clubs Association, visiting from across New South Wales, and we welcome the delegation representing 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Delta Company, 33-34 Platoon, attending from Kapooka, New South Wales. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching this broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial and by students on behalf of Listerfield Primary School who are in attendance from Listerfield, Victoria. Australia's Federation Guard is the tri-service ceremonial unit of the Australian Defence Force. They provide a ceremonial presence at civil and military events and during visits to Australia by foreign dignitaries. The Guard will now dismount the catafalque party from the tomb of the unknown Australian soldier. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. Students, please be seated. Anyone else requiring a seat, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Norman Ivor Hurd. Norman Hurd was born in 1895 in Norjuda in Victoria's Wimmera region. He was the ninth of 10 children born to Hannah and John Hurd. At some point in his childhood, the family moved to Elstonwick, a southeastern suburb of Melbourne, and Norman completed 2 years of service in the senior cadets. His father died in 1912. After leaving school, Norman worked as a postman. After the outbreak of the First World War, Hurd volunteered for service in the Australian Imperial Force, but he was rejected on the grounds of his slight stature, 165 centimetres high and weighing 53 kilograms. Hurd's older brother Albert had had a similar experience. Albert had been medically rejected for service in January 1915, but had then successfully enlisted in May 1915. Albert was killed in action on Gallipoli in September that year. By the middle of 1916, the AIF urgently needed recruits, and the physical requirements were broadened. Norman Hurd volunteered for service again in October 1916 and was accepted. He began training in Broadmeadows Camp, north of Melbourne. Having completed his initial training, Hurd was assigned to the 23rd Reinforcements of the 6th Australian Infantry Battalion. He embarked on board the transport ship Horirada at the end of November 1916 and sailed for England, arriving in Plymouth at the end of January 1917. There he completed his training. In May, he sailed to France, where he joined the 6th Battalion at the town of Béziers near the Somme River. The unit spent the next several months training. In July, the battalion was one of several to be inspected by His Majesty King George V. Later that same month, the unit was training near Pozières, the site of fierce fighting the year before. The commanding officer of the 6th Battalion unveiled a cross to commemorate the men of the unit who had lost their lives there nearly a year earlier. At the end of August, the battalion travelled north by train to the border of France and Belgium. British commanders had planned a major offensive to capture the high ground beyond the town of Ypres in Belgium. Hurd's unit began training specifically for this upcoming offensive. In the early hours of the morning, on the 20th of September, the men of the 6th Battalion took their places in the front lines along the road to the town of Menin. A light rain was falling, and during the night, the Australians were subjected to German artillery shelling and machine gun fire, but they suffered no casualties. The Australian units had British divisions to their left and right, and the attack would take place along a front line of some 13 kilometres. Just before 6 a.m., an enormous British artillery barrage opened up on the German positions opposite. The battalion advanced, and brutal close combat took place around the German strongpoints. Despite this, the British and Australians captured all of their objectives, and by early afternoon, they were engaged in consolidating the newly captured territory. During the next day, the 21st of September, German forces vigorously counterattacked, laying down heavy artillery bombardments and machine gun fire on the captured ground. In one of these bombardments, Private Hurd was struck in the chest and badly wounded. He was evacuated to a Canadian casualty clearing station where he died of his wounds on the 4th of October 1917. Private Hurd was buried at Lijsselhoek Military Cemetery in Belgium, near where he had died, alongside the graves of more than 10,000 Allied soldiers. His mother chose the inscription for his tombstone. He sacrificed his life for the safety of others. Hurd was 22 years old. Private Norman Ivor Hurd is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Norman Ivor Hurd, who gave his life for us, for our freedom, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last toast.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
Party, present arms.
lest we forget.
Catafalque party, inwards, turn. Catafalque party, quick, march.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today, and we wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.